seen it.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
We are back, and so we're talking with Brandi Joe, and we were going to talk about that case that
so this is Sinners. This is Sinners and Saints.
It's a segment called
I like this.
Do you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this is Todd's baby, and this is the way he does it. So he'll have like kind of a bad story. You know, here's somebody where it's sad news.
Well, obviously this woman has taken advantage of. She took advantage of J.P. Morgan Chase. I mean, you could pretty much say that she took advantage of the people that Jamie Dimon hired.
Well, her defense attorney says that J.P. Morgan Chase should have been more diligent in finding out the truth, and that they just have buyer's remorse. That's their perspective.
But everything that she presented to them was it wasn't falsifying facts. I mean, she literally just made it up. She didn't have a real company.
I think the criminal defense attorney in me is going to have to knee-jerk say allegedly like 20 times if we keep talking about this allegedly. There are other cases where they've been convicted, like that woman at Theranos, the one that was talking really, really deep. What is her name? Holmes? I can't remember her name, but
yeah, she's blonde and weird, and
everybody
wears black. Wears black turtlenecks.
Yeah,
like Steve Jobs.
Yeah, everyone knows her now.
But here's the thing, and just like when you send me the link to the article, I think these people are sociopaths. I do. I think they have a very. I think probably they had an odd upbringing. Parenting probably was an issue. I mean, not that there's a wire loose, but there is something between. They have a disconnect between what is right and wrong.
Okay, and so like a compassion for others is lacking.
Well, yes, and so I just couldn't imagine doing that. I couldn't imagine just laying something out there and saying, hey, I want to sell this idea to you, because she didn't really have anything backing what she was doing. So seriously, she did commit fraud in the fact that she did not have anything real to present to J.P. Morgan.
Okay.
And they were attempting to underwrite the deal. And so let's just back up. Underwriting a deal. So you and I have this brilliant company that's saving the world of student loan debt.
Okay.
And we actually have a proven concept, and we have people that are saying, hey, I need help, and then we have other people that are coming in and saying, hey, I'll privately support you through a loan, I'll pay off your student loans, and then you'll owe me. So, and again, this has nothing to do with the actual case. But
everything sounds on the up and up.
Everything sounds on the up and up, and then where were J.P. Morgan Chase's auditors and their accountants and their CPAs to say this is real? Yes. It seems like to me they didn't do their job, but also she was making this stuff up as she went along and making it look like she was actually, a legitimate business.
It sounds familiar because it sounds like the framework of several other cases that have been in the news recently.
Yeah.
Do you have like a quick takeaway or something that not someone like you that's very educated in finances, but just the average person, a quick takeaway to steer clear of people trying to defraud them?
Yeah, like my goal for 2025 is to open up a 506 fund, and whether it's going to be a B or a C. And so those two letters depend on who can invest in the fund. And I want to make sure that I am totally transparent, and that the private investments that I offer within this fund, that they have been vetted down to the last blade of grass in real estate, the last penny if it's financial, all of this kind of stuff. And I want to make sure that trust can only go so far. But the other thing is that people have a little bit too much faith in their fellow man sometimes these days.
You think so? We see with our eyes, we it looks good, like that Theranos woman, she just had this image.
Yeah.
We already
None of her stuff worked.
Yeah.
Theranos, that whole deal, none of her stuff worked.
Well, she's quoted as saying failure is not, the fact that something failed is not criminal. They interviewed her recently, and she was saying, I did not intend.
But she lied about the results of that failure.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So then that would be the crime. Well, I think it's okay to feel compassion for her. I mean, I think she did, she was convicted, and I think
she's in prison.
And there's people that were hurt,
Yeah.
so I feel compassion for everybody all the way around on that.
Yeah.
But your takeaway on how to avoid fraud for the common person?
Oh, just make sure that whatever offering that you are considering, show it to your CPA. Okay. Show it to a couple of other financial advisors. Make sure that the financials have been audited, because basically when it comes down to it, most of these equity funds, these private investment funds, they're promissory notes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. Mm-hmm. So that was our sad, bad story. Let's talk good.
That was our sinner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk more Brandi Joe, because we're not even going to touch the surface of this thing. You do so much.
Okay. Am I the saint?
Yes, you are. I nominate you for the saint. I was gonna just open it up, like who do you think is making a positive impact on our community?
There's so many in San
But
Antonio.
I wanted to give you the option as well. I very well think it could be you.
Well, thank you for that, Shannon. There's so many in San Antonio that are doing good things, and it seems like to me, I mean, we have somebody in common that we know, Debbie Jennings. She sits on the board of the Through Project.
I'm not in charge of these things, but she needs sainthood nomination.
Yeah, she's wrangling. She started her own company with.
When does she sleep as well?
Again, she gets up early. Health literacy company that she has called Doing Well.
Yeah. That annoys me too. Does that annoy you? Every time I have to leave the G off when I'm looking for her.
Yeah, and I see her logo, so it gives me good recall there. She's doing good things. My wife and I are supporters of the Through Project, and we're also supporters of CAM, which is Christian Assistance Ministries.
Can you tell quickly what they do?
So Christian Assistance Ministries was started by 6, 7, 8 churches in the late 70s. Now it's up to 80 plus, maybe pushing up against 100 churches. That it is a crisis emergency room center for people that are in crisis. It is not, in my opinion, it's not considered a homeless shelter because they do not house anyone. And they don't take people off the streets, but they do, like right now, we're sitting here in the top floor of this building,
right.
And it's 34 degrees outside.
Right. It's very cold out there.
They will go and they will pick people up and they will keep them warm.
Oh, right.
Now,
right.
Kim, it is a privately funded, I don't even think they take $1 of public money, taxpayer dollars. They do work along with the city. They do work along with the Bexar County Sheriff's Department and the San Antonio Police Department. When I want to give my money and my support to something like that, I want to make sure that the money that I'm giving goes directly to the people that I literally want to help.
Right.
So actually, where I come from work, I have an office at 410 and 10, and I have an office at United Realty Group at 1604 in Blanco. As I'm coming home, I exit Sunset, and I get to the T down there at Sunset.
Right.
And there's usually a person standing there with a pet and their sign that they are hungry and that they are homeless.
Right.
And before I met Dawn White Fostick, who runs CAM, before I would give them money.
Okay, right.
And now she says, Brandi, there is a process.
Right.
There is a system that these people can get into.
Exactly, yeah.
But most of the time...
You might actually be... And what's the problem with giving cash?
Well, you're
cash?
enabling where they are and not being able to have them leverage your giving. And so what Don has taught me is that you want them to get into the system and go through the process of getting off of the streets. The other thing that Don and Debbie are doing, they put in Compassion Cares, which I think is another initiative that Don and Cam came up with, but they are going through the process of getting a medical team to make sure that some of these homeless and unhoused and couch surfers and some of these other people, that they are getting their proper medication.
Beautiful.
And I think that is incredible.
It is so amazing, yeah. And they are just the real deal. You don't have to worry if there's.
So those are my saints with what's making a bigger impact here in San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm a big a proponent of the Through Project too. Mm-hmm. They're doing amazing things. Mm-hmm. So we're wrapping up again, and you see what I mean? We haven't even talked about your podcast yet.
Okay.
So the next, we're just barely going to scratch the surface of all these amazing things you're doing. But the next segment is legacy. So we'll pick it up again.
I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law Radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.